Welcome to my channel, Most Worth Coins, WC Today videos, is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of coins, so let's get it started. The 1991D Lincoln cent, more commonly known as a penny, is a 1-cent coin issued by the United States Mint and carries significant historical and numismatic value to collectors of modern US coinage. The obverse front of this coin features the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose leadership through the American Civil War and efforts to abolish slavery made him one of the most revered figures in American history. This iconic design was originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth and was created by Victor David Brenner, a renowned sculptor and engraver whose initials, VDB, famously appeared on the bottom reverse of the earliest 1909 coins before public controversy led to their temporary removal. By 1991, however, the coin had undergone several composition and minting process changes but retained Brenner's obverse portrait of Lincoln, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. The obverse side of the 1991D Lincoln cent bears several inscriptions apart from Lincoln's left-facing portrait. Directly above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase first mandated on US coins during the Civil War era and continuously used on the cent since 1909. Along the left rim of the coin appears the word liberty, symbolizing the foundational American value of individual freedom and rights. To the right of Lincoln's profile, adjacent to his shoulder, is the date 1991, indicating the year of minting. Beneath the date is a small demint mark, denoting that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the primary branches of the United States Mint alongside facilities in Philadelphia, San Francisco, and West Point. The Denver Mint, established in 19, has since been responsible for producing millions of circulating and collectible coins, with its distinctive D-mint mark becoming a familiar identifier to numismatists. Turning to the reverse side of the 1991D penny, the design prominently displays the Lincoln Memorial, which had been featured on the reverse of the Lincoln cent since 1959, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This image of the Lincoln Memorial was designed by Frank Barrow, who later served as the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. The memorial itself, located in Washington, D.C., stands as a national tribute to Lincoln and a site of historic speeches and civil rights demonstrations. On the coin, the memorial is detailed with its colonnade of columns and steps, and if examined carefully with magnification, one can discern a tiny representation of the seated statue of Lincoln within the open structure of the memorial, an impressive detail for such a small, mass-produced item. Surrounding this central image are additional inscriptions. Along the upper rim is United States of America, while directly below the memorial appears 1 cent, indicating the coin's face value. The Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, is inscribed between these two elements, a national motto reflecting the unity formed from the original 13 colonies into a single nation. In terms of physical specifications, the 1991D Lincoln cent continued the composition change first introduced in 1982 due to rising copper costs. Earlier cents had been primarily composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, but beginning mid-1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, achieved through copper plating, a zinc core. The 1991D cent conforms to these newer standards, with a total weight of 2.5 grams and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, 0.75 inches. The edge of the coin remains plain, without reading. This shift in composition was one of the most significant alterations in the Lincoln cent series since its inception, fundamentally changing both the coin's physical characteristics and its long-term durability, as zinc core coins are more prone to corrosion if exposed to environmental damage. Regarding mintage figures, the 1991D Lincoln cent was produced in substantial numbers, as is typical for modern circulating coins. The Denver Mint struck approximately 4,158,442,076 over 4.1 billion Lincoln cents with the 1991D date, making it a common issue readily encountered in circulation and bulk coinage hoards. Despite this vast mintage, pristine uncirculated examples, particularly those with sharp strikes and flawless surfaces, remain of interest to collectors, particularly in higher mint state MS grades. Coins graded MS65 and above by third-party grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company can command a modest premium due to their relative scarcity compared to the enormous number of lower-quality circulated specimens. Collectors of modern cents often seek out varieties, errors, and unique minting anomalies within such high mintage issues. Although the 1991D Lincoln cent is generally not known for dramatic or widely publicized varieties, Era coins from this date and mint are occasionally encountered, and can be valuable depending on the type and severity of the minting defect. Some examples of sought-after errors include off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during minting, doubled dies, which feature a visible doubling of design elements, die cracks and cuds, which are raised defects from damaged dies, and clipped planchettes where a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to an error during the blanking process. While most of these errors are rare, they attract keen interest from specialists in the field of U.S. error coin collecting. In terms of market value, the vast majority of 1991D Lincoln cents encountered today are worth face value 1 cent in circulated condition, due to the coin's immense mintage and ready availability. However, uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS65, Red Road and higher, may fetch between $1 and $15 USD or more, depending on eye appeal, luster, and strike quality. Exceptional specimens with pristine surfaces, no contact marks, and full red color designation, indicating the original copper red color has been fully preserved without toning or oxidation, are the most desirable among collectors and can command higher premiums. Error coins and varieties, depending on their rarity and visibility of the anomaly, may range in value from a few dollars to several $100s for major errors in perfect condition. The 1991D Lincoln cent occupies a meaningful place within the broader context of U.S. coinage history as a representative of the long-running Lincoln Memorial reverse design. It is part of a subseries that spanned from 1959 to 2008, marking exactly 50 years of the memorial's presence on the nation's smallest denomination coin. In 2009, the reverse was changed to honor the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth with 4 commemorative designs depicting different stages of his life, before being permanently replaced in 2010 by the Union Shield reverse designed by Lynn. Base, the 1991D cent, therefore, reflects a late chapter in the memorial. Reverse is tenure and remains a nostalgic piece for those who remember these coins in everyday use. In conclusion, while the 1991D Lincoln cent may be commonplace in the eyes of the general public, it carries layers of numismatic significance, historical symbolism, and collectible appeal for coin enthusiasts. Its design connects modern America with its Civil War past through the figure of Abraham Lincoln. Its inscriptions reiterate national ideals, and its mint mark and date provide valuable data for collectors assembling date-and mint sets. The changes in its composition tell a story of economic pressures and practical adjustments in U.S. monetary policy, whether studied for its minor varieties, pristine mint, state survivors, or role in the continuum of American coinage. The 1991D penny remains a humble yet historically rich artifact of the nation's currency system. The 1992 Lincoln cent, often referred to simply as the 1992 penny, represents an important and sometimes underappreciated entry in the long-running Lincoln cent series that first began in 1909. This particular issue belongs to the subset of Lincoln cents featuring the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. While many people today might overlook a 1-cent coin in daily circulation, every issue in the Lincoln series, including the 1992 release, carries layers of history, symbolism, and, occasionally, hidden treasures for the keen-eyed collector. Even a coin as seemingly ordinary as the 1992 penny can tell a fascinating story about American values, monetary policy, minting processes, and numismatic culture. The obverse front of the 1992 Lincoln cent continues the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which has been a fixture on the 1-cent piece since 1909, making it the longest-running design on a circulating U.S. coin. Sculpted by the talented Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's left-facing profile was initially created to honor the centennial of the president's birth. The obverse includes several inscriptions besides Lincoln's profile. Arching along the top rim is the motto "In God We Trust," first introduced on the 2-cent piece in 1864 and later appearing on all U.S. coinage by the mid-20th century. To the left of Lincoln's image is the word liberty, a central American ideal symbolizing the country's commitment to freedom and individual rights. To the right of the profile appears the date, 1992, indicating the year of minting. On some examples, a mint mark appears beneath the date, identifying where the coin was struck. If struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the coin typically bears no mint mark. If produced at the Denver Mint, a small D mint mark is present. Turning to the reverse back of the coin, we find Frank Gasparo's design of the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the earlier wheat ears reverse in 1959. Gasparo, who later became chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, intended his depiction of the memorial to embody the nation's respect for Lincoln's legacy and his commitment to unity, equality, and democracy. The design features the iconic neoclassical monument as it appears in Washington, D.C., with its long row of columns, staircases, and peaked roof. One of the most fascinating details is that, if examined under magnification, the seated statue of Lincoln modeled after Daniel Chester French's sculpture is visible within the open central area of the memorial. Above the memorial arch, the words United States of America, while just below the roofline appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a reminder of the unity forged from diverse states and peoples. At the bottom of the reverse is the denomination, simply stated as 1 cent. This reverse remained on the Lincoln cent until 2008. After which it was replaced in 2010 by the Union Shield design. In terms of physical specifications, the 1992 Lincoln cent retained the same size and dimensions established after the major composition change in 1982. The coin has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters (0.75 inches) and a plain edge. It weighs 2.5 grams and is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, with a thin copper plating over a solid zinc core. This composition was adopted midway through 1982 in response to rising copper prices, which had made producing pennies out of nearly pure copper economically unfeasible. The shift from a heavier, solid bronze composition, 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc, to a lighter copper-plated zinc coin marked one of the most significant changes in the Lincoln cent's history. Collectors today must be mindful of this distinction, as earlier pre-1982 pennies are worth more than face value in melt value for their copper content. Though melting cents for metal value remains illegal in the United States, the 1992 Lincoln cent was struck at 2 primary U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver, with the Philadelphia coins lacking a mint mark and the Denver coins bearing a small d beneath the date. Mintage figures for this year were substantial, as pennies continue to be produced in enormous quantities to meet circulation demand. In 1992, the Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 4,648,905,000 pennies, while the Denver Mint produced about 4,448,673,300, resulting in a combined total exceeding 9 billion coins. Despite these high mintage numbers, some notable varieties and errors from this year have captured the attention of collectors and specialists alike. One of the most famous discoveries involving the 1992 Lincoln cent came many years after its release, in the form of the 1992 Close AM variety. Typically, Lincoln Memorial reverse cents from 1992 feature a noticeable space between the letters A and M in America. However, on a small number of coins produced in both Philadelphia and Denver, the letters A and M are unusually close together, a design detail intended for the upcoming 1993 proof coins that accidentally appeared on some business strike cents. These so-called 1992 Close AM cents are exceedingly rare and highly sought after. As of today, only a handful of verified examples are known, with mint state specimens commanding thousands of dollars at auction. One high-grade 1992D Close AM cent once sold for over $20,000 due to its extreme rarity and demand among Lincoln cent specialists. Beyond this significant variety, collectors also search for typical mint errors from the 1992 issue. These may include off-center strikes, where the coin's design is misaligned, doubled die errors, in which design elements appear duplicated due to a misalignment during the hubbing process, die cracks, visible as raised lines caused by a fractured die, and clipped planchettes where a portion of the coin's edge is missing. While most such errors from 1992 are modest in value, severe or visually dramatic examples can fetch respectable prices in numismatic markets. In circulated condition, most 1992 Lincoln cents are worth their face value of 1 cent, given their massive mintage and continued presence in daily commerce. However, uncirculated examples, particularly those graded MS65 Red Road and above, can command small premiums from collectors assembling mint state sets or Lincoln Memorial cent collections. As is customary in Lincoln cent collecting, coins are often graded on their color designation: brown BN, red brown RB, and red road, with full red coins being the most desirable. A flawless, bright red, sharply struck 1992 Lincoln cent might fetch between $1 and $10 depending on grade and eye appeal. Proof-like or exceptionally clean mint state pieces occasionally bring higher prices. Historically, the 1992 Lincoln cent represents the closing years of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Designs, production. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, discussions were already underway within the numismatic community and the U.S. Mint regarding the future of circulating coin designs, ultimately leading to the release of the Lincoln Bicentennial cents and the permanent adoption of the Union Shield reverse in 2010. As such, the 1992 issue belongs to the final generation of Memorial reverse cents produced for everyday commerce. For collectors, the 1992 Lincoln cent offers several areas of interest: its role within the Memorial reverse series, its representation of post-1982 copper-plated zinc composition, its massive mintage reflecting U.S. economic and population growth, and its connection to the famed close AM variety. Even a humble coin like the 1992 penny serves as a tangible link to American history and commerce, carrying forward ideals like liberty, faith, and national unity as expressed in its inscriptions. Its widespread availability makes it an ideal starting point for beginner collectors, while its hidden rarities offer thrilling possibilities for even the most seasoned numismatists. In summary, while the 1992 Lincoln cent may seem mundane, at first glance, it embodies over a century of American numismatic tradition and continues to captivate collectors through its historical associations, minting peculiarities, and elusive varieties like the close AM era. From its classical obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln to the stately depiction of the Lincoln Memorial on its reverse, this penny preserves the memory of a revered national figure and the enduring values of a nation, whether sitting quietly in a jar of change or gleaming in a collector's album. Each 1992 penny represents a small but significant chapter in the rich tapestry of U.S. coinage.